Okay, so we're doing skill numbers 4 and 5. I'm making a video together because they kind of correspond. In order to do one, you can do the other, but I really want to emphasize how to solve for them. We've already done all this equation solving in the past, but I want to make sure that we can do it and we remember how to do it. So if you look at this problem right here, you notice that this is a right angle. And if this angle is split into two, we know these angles are complementary, which is one of our vocab words. They add to be 90 degrees. So that means I can set them up. I know this angle plus this angle equals 90 degrees. So if I'm given the measure of these angles, I can set up this equation. All I did was take this angle, put it here, and took this angle and put it here, and then I added them to be 90 degrees. Now all I gotta do is solve it. So if you remember from the beginning of the year, in order to distribute fractions, I need 4 arrows, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And I need to make my other numbers fractions as well. So 1 times 24 is 24x over 4 minus 12 over 4 plus 4x over 2 plus 6 over 2 equals 90. And this problem is nice because all of my numbers divide out nicely. So 24 over 4 is just 6x minus 3 plus 2x plus 3 equals 90. Oh, nice. My numbers cancel, so now I'm left with 8x equals 90. I don't know if this divides evenly. I didn't do it. 90 divided by 8. X equals 11.25. So notice x equals 11.25, but my angle is not 11.25. The angle DBA is actually equal to 1/2 of 4 times x plus 6. So in order to find the angle of DBA, I have to plug in x for this. So I have 1/2 times 4 times 11.25 plus 6. So I have to do what's in my parentheses first. So times 4 times 11.25, which gets me 45. And I can add 6 and divide by 2, which gets me 25.5. So angle DBA is actually 25.5. And so I just kind of labeled it there, degrees. And so if this is 25.5 and the whole angle is 90, I don't even need to plug it into this equation. I can just do 90 minus 25.5. And that will get me 64.5, which is actually measure of angle CBD. So that is how I would solve for the angles given a relationship like that. What if my numbers don't divide out evenly? So this is another problem I want to do. So we'll talk about this. Notice there's no angle relationships, right? But I do want to talk about how we solve when there's fractions and they don't divide nicely. So the first thing I do is I look and see my denominators. Okay, what is a common denominator I can make? Well, let's see, does 2 go into 10? Yes, 5 goes into 10. Yep, so 10 will work. All 3 of my numbers go into 10 on the bottom. So if you remember from the beginning of the year, I take each of my numerators and multiply them by 10 as well. So now I have 90 over 2 minus 60k over 5 equals negative 270 over 10. Now these divide nicely. Minus 12k equals negative 27. And now I can just solve. So I'm going to subtract 45 on both sides. Negative 12k equals negative 27 45, negative 72, divided by negative 12. And so k, so I divide by negative 12 on both sides. And I get k is equal to 6. So that is how I solve when I have fractions with unlike denominators that don't divide out nicely. Okay, I'm going to flip and do one more problem. So So we've all seen a picture like this before. And if you notice the angles that they gave us, it wants us to solve for x. So if you notice the angles that they gave us are, what relationship do you think they have? Well, they're corresponding. So I know that they're equal to each other because they're corresponding. Therefore, I can set up this equation. And I'll just write it in green. 2x minus 6 equals 5x plus 6. And now it's just a simple equation solving. So first I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. I get negative 6 equals 3x. And subtract 6 on both sides here. Negative 12 equals 3x. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X equals negative 4. So that would be x in here. If you wanted to solve for the angles, all you do is plug x back in for x here and for x here, and that would give you those angles. That would give you angle LNK and angle NMJ. So that's how you set up equations and solve for skill number 4 and 5.